I started exactly at 1 o'clock. Look at me go. I'm on a roll. That's a great headline to start the stream reading. My goodness. Okay. Just hey, nice. Let's see. No. See if anyone comes into chat while I am setting up settings and stuff. Make sure all the settings are good before we actually play the game, because let's be honest, no one wants to play on mid speed for text. And just adjust my mic. I don't like this. Yeah, that works. Gotta jimmy rig it a little bit. What frame do I want? Always classic. You know, I usually end up always going for this frame when I play these days, so it's probably gonna be this one. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna hang out for a bit. Gonna chill momentarily, you know? And sometimes just gonna 小双好双我 sorry 小双好双我想在我有冰淇淋我很喜欢冰淇淋 you know. Oh, no one's gonna get that. That's fine. I mean, they're gonna get it, but they're not gonna they're not gonna see it. I need to watch this YouTube short real quick. Hang on, someone's making a pizza thing. I really like pizza. Oh boy. Oh boy. Wait a minute. Okay, hang on. I have to send that to my fiance. I have to send that to my mother-in-law. Oh my god. Whoa, that's insane. Sorry, checking up on my friend too. Where is, there she is. I did not mean to close the YouTube app. Hang on a second. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Un momento, por favore. Alright, well. Well, this is chilling. We might as well get this going. Hello, everybody who will eventually watch this stream VOD, and anyone that shows up at some point in time. Pokemon Emerald. It's my favorite Pokemon game. It's the best. I'm not gonna call it the best Pokemon game, even though I call it that. You know, sometimes. I can acknowledge that this is far from the greatest Pokemon game ever made, but I still love it a lot. It will always hold a near and dear place in my heart. It's the one that I grew up playing the most as a child after Leaf Green. And I played the absolute crap out of it, you know? Here. Let's see. Turn up the game audio a bit. Yeah, gotta let these trumpets run, you know? Everyone's gotta get those Gen 3 trumpets. Alright, well, hi, sorry to keep you waiting. Welcome to the world of Pokemon. My name is Birch, but everyone calls me the Pokemon Professor. This is what we call a Pokemon. This world is widely inhabited by creatures known as Pokemon. We humans live alongside Pokemon, at times as friendly playmates, and at times as cooperative workmates. And sometimes we band together and battle others like us. But despite our closeness, we don't know everything about Pokemon. In fact, there are many, many secrets surrounding Pokemon. To unravel Pokemon mysteries, I've been undertaking research. That's what I do. And you are? Are you a boy or a girl? Well, that's a loaded question. I'm going to lower that a bit because now I can't hear myself think. It's louder coming out than it is in the capture, I'm noticing. Well, I am a boy. And let's see. We're just gonna stick with a naming convention. I'm Sage. So it's Sage? Yes, it is. Ah, okay. You're Sage, who's moving to my hometown of Littleroot. I get it now. Alright, are you ready? Your very own adventure is about to unfold. Take courage and leap into the world of Pokemon, where dreams and adventure and friendships await. Well, I'll be expecting you later. Come see me in my Pokemon lab. Ah, absolute classic. This start is just engraved into my brain. I think I can play the first, like... No, I can play this entire campaign front to back in, like, a couple hours tops. I remember the achievement of the month a few months ago was beating Wallace for the champion title. And I started the game at like 8 o'clock in the morning and I finished it probably at like 12 or 2. I don't remember exactly, but it was like early afternoon. Early to mid-afternoon at the most. So, yeah. Just because I love this game so much. Well, this is Littleroot Town. How do you like it? This is our new home. It has a quaint feel, but it seems to be an easy place to live, don't you think? And you get your own room, Sage. Let's go inside. Now, just as a fair word of warning, even with speed up, the beginning portion of this game is going to take a long time. I have a feeling we're probably not going to leave pre-Roxanne for a few streams, which I think it's good then that we're getting a little leg up on, you know, starting the stream here. See, Sage? Isn't it nice in here, too? The movers Pokemon do all the work of moving us in and cleaning up after. Totally not exploitative labor. This is so convenient. Sage, your room is upstairs. Go check it out, dear. Dad bought you a new clock to mark our move here. Don't forget to set it. I like how our present from our gym leader father after moving is a clock. Well, we better set the clock. Thankfully, we don't have to worry about the internal battery or anything. As you all might be aware, it is the afternoon. Very specifically, it is just a little bit before 1:10 for me. Oh yeah, child labor. It's not child labor, it's Pokemon labor. Very different. Sage, how do you like your new room? Good. Everything's put away neatly. They finished moving everything in downstairs, too. Pokemon movers are so convenient, and again, not at all exploitative. Oh, you should make sure that everything's all there on your desk. Now, just like other early Gen games, Gen 3 very specifically, you get this a lot in here, you can open up your PC and withdraw one potion from the box. One of the most handy things that has ever existed. Let's take a quick look at the map so we see what we've got ahead of us. Now, if we are to believe IGN, 7.8 out of 10, too much water. I personally don't think there is too much water. I think there's just a good enough amount of water. Yes, there's quite a large amount, but it makes up only a third of the map, as opposed to the landmass over here, which makes up the remaining 2/3. And I know people sometimes complain about, like, oh, but the underwater routes, ooh, there's literally 3 encounters that you have down there. Like, it's not that bad. Only 2 of them evolve, too, and I'm pretty sure they require trades, so in this instance, only 1 of them evolves. I don't need Gorobus and Huntail, I just need Clamperl. So, we're getting ahead of ourselves. We also have a GameCube. It's a Nintendo GameCube, and a Game Boy Advance is connected to serve as the controller. That's a little gimmicky thing. What's on the TV? Dad might like this program. Better get going. Very basic. 0 out of 10 game. Would not recommend it. Oh, Sage, quick, come quickly. Look, it's Petalburg Gym. Maybe Dad will be on. We brought you this report from in front of Petalburg Gym. Well, that was fast. Oh, it's over. I think Dad was on, but we missed him. Too bad. Oh yes, one of Dad's friends lives in town. Professor Birch is his name. He lives right next door, so you should go over and introduce yourself. Alright, now, I think I'm just going to play this like Pokemon Emerald. Like, naturally, I'm going to play this game, and we're just going to have fun, but we're also doing the POC in the interim, so we'll interact with NPCs, we'll look at everything that we have available to us, we're just going to have a good time with this. I want to experience Pokemon Emerald. You know, and I want you guys to come with me on this experience as well. This game is near and dear to my heart, and I can't imagine not experiencing this properly. You know, we go and talk to a technology guy. Use a PC, you can store items in Pokemon. The power of science is staggering. I think about the Game Grumps bit that they did when they played Fire Red, where it's like, technology is incredible, you can totally fuck robots now. See you later. We'll walk in. Oh, hello, and you are? Oh, you're Sage, our new next-door neighbor. Hi. We have a daughter about the same age as you. Our daughter was excited about making a new friend. Our daughter is upstairs, I think. Now, here's a fun little thing. Not a lot of people know this. It's not like a common thing. You're supposed to go over and interact with that Pokeball to start meeting May and have that beginning dialogue. But instead, you can just walk down the stairs. Huh? Who are you? Oh, you're Sage? So your move was today. I'm May. Glad to meet you. I have this dream of becoming friends with Pokemon all over the world. I heard about you, Sage, from my dad, Professor Birch. I was hoping that you would be nice, Sage, and that we could be friends. Oh, this is silly, isn't it? I've just met you, Sage. Oh no, I forgot. I was supposed to go help Dad catch some wild Pokemon. Sage, I'll catch you later. Now, this isn't anything in the games whatsoever, but in the manga very specifically, Ruby and Sapphire have a romance, which is very interesting. You don't see that happen in Pokemon very often. Hi, neighbor. Do you already have your own Pokemon? I do not, you small pink-haired demon. Now, this is the part where you go up north, but let's talk to this person who doesn't have a house as well. Professor Birch spends days in his lab studying. Then he'll suddenly go out in the wild to do more research. When does Professor Birch spend time at home? He doesn't. He doesn't. Like every other professor, he doesn't. And then this little girl. Hi. There's scary Pokemon outside. I can hear their cries. I want to go see what's going on, but I don't have any Pokemon. Can you go see what's happening for me? Let's go take a look. Help me! I'm a bitch and I'm running away from a level 3 Zigzagoon. Oh. Hello, you over there, please help. In my bag, there's a Pokeball. Birch, there are 3 Pokeballs, not a Pokeball. Learn how to count, big dog. So, in the Professor Oak Challenge, the main hurdle at the beginning of the game is evolving your starter from its base form all the way up to the final stage. Now, unlike in Pokemon Leaf Green, where picking Venusaur is objectively the smartest choice, given that it evolves at level 32, as opposed to the level 36 of Charizard and Blastoise, in Pokemon Emerald, we don't have that issue. Or, I guess, rather luxury in this case. All of the starters evolve at level 16 for their first stage, and they evolve at level 36 for their second. So, at this point, it is entirely based upon preference, what you want to do. Now, I know some people like Trico, I know some people like Torchic, but let's be honest, we like Mudkips. We like Mudkips. And why wouldn't we? They are objectively the best starter out of the 3, and if anyone has any comparison points... Oh, sorry, I was wrong. Level 2 Zigzagoon. If anyone has any comparison points they want to argue with, you're wrong. We are going to super speed the fights just because they are going to be the most tedious part of this. Obviously, it's a grind-based achievement set. Whew. I was in the tall grass studying wild Pokemon when I was jumped. You saved me. Thanks a lot. Oh? Hi, you're Sage. This is not the place to chat, so come by my Pokemon lab later, okay? So, Sage, I've heard so much about you from your father. I've heard that you don't have your own Pokemon yet, but the way you battled earlier, you pulled it off with a plum. That's a word you don't hear very often. I guess you have your father's blood in your veins after all. Oh yes, as thanks for rescuing me, I'd like you to have the Pokemon you used earlier. Sage received the Mudkip. While you're at it, why not give a nickname to that Mudkip? Now, this is just something that I've done for years. I'm going to name this Mudkip Kipper. I need to. It's habit. And I'm gonna do it. If you work at Pokemon and gain experience, I think you'll make an extremely good trainer. My kid, May, is also studying Pokemon while helping me out. Sage, don't you think it might be a good idea to go see May? To quote Checker Conroy, no! Oh, don't be that way. You should go meet my kid. No! Oh, don't be that... Okay, yeah. Great. May should be happy, too. Get May to teach you what it means to be a trainer. Also, another person who doesn't need my shoutouts, but Checker Conroy, the absolute goat of Let's Play content on YouTube. Without him, I don't think I'd even consider doing anything like this. That man is the blueprint. So, without further ado, let's take our first steps into the route. Now, unlike in previous generations, you can't talk to anyone on this route and get yourself an early potion. They changed that to be in Old Town. So we're going to make our way through. The encounters on this route are pretty simple. You've got Wurmple, Zigzagoon, and Poochyena. Nothing too exciting. I'd say the most important thing that you can get your hands on here is Zigzagoon, which Zigzagoon has pickup, and it uses the Emerald pickup table, which the Emerald pickup table works very differently than how it did for Fire Red and Leaf Green. In Fire Red and Leaf Green, it's a flat table, there's no levels, anything. Pokemon get tired, take them to a Pokemon Center. Shut up. There's a different table in this regard, where it's level-based. So what you really want to focus on is getting a grouping of Zigzagoons up to level 21, and then you can start earning rare candies from them. It is basically the most surefire way to grind in this game, and it makes things significantly easier if you can pull that off. Hi, I work at a Pokemon Mart. Can I get you to come with me? This is obviously a little tutorial. This is a Pokemon Mart. Just look for our blue roof. We sell a variety of goods, including Pokeballs for catching Pokemon. Here, I'd like you to have this as a promotional item. And you get the first free potion. Well, second free potion outside of your PC. This is good. A potion can be used anytime, so it's even more useful than a Pokemon Center in certain situations. We can look inside the Pokemart right now. There's not a whole lot available to us. We only, I believe, have potions, antidotes, paralyzed heals, and awakenings. Yes. Nothing exciting. We're not going to focus on spending any of our money here. What I am going to do is we're going to take a look. Let's just see. This is our Kipper. Calm nature. I would have rather had a modest nature, but hey, you know what? There's worse things to get. Yeah. And then, you know, obviously, ooh, our bag is going to be a little bit more, less sparse for the time being. Potions, and that's it. Nothing crazy. Obviously, we have us here with our 3,000 shmoney. And apparently we've been playing for 11 minutes. And you know what? Let's get our first save of the game. We're saving right here in the Pokemon Mart. Let's see. I got a snap. And you know what? Let me copy link. I'm going to share this with the homies. Just hope the homies show up today. We are gonna go do a quick heal at the Pokemart or Pokemon Center, and let us speed blitz our way up north. Now, if you were wondering, you know, usually the route has something stopping you from progressing beyond the story point. This guy. Ah, wait! Please don't come in here. I just discovered the footprints of a rare Pokemon. Wait until I finish sketching them, okay? If you're unfamiliar with what's going to happen here, for some reason, remember, this game's like 20 years old. So if you don't know, I don't know how. He's an idiot. That's all that boils down to. This route does not offer anything very new or exciting. The most it gives us, outside of the base encounter table from before, is we now have access to Wingull. Wingull is a moderately okay water flying type. I mean, it's as good as a water flying type can really get, but, you know, later gens, Pelipper gets Drizzle, it gains access to Hurricane. It's a fairly decent special attacker with some surprisingly okay bulk. If you're running competitive, Pelipper is a decent, like, lower tier mon to utilize, especially if you're trying to set up Rain. Oh, hi, Sage. Oh, I see my dad gave you a Pokemon as a gift. Since we're here, let's have a quick battle. I'll give you a taste of what being a trainer is like. We, again, are going to super speed through this. May is going to have Trico, which this does have type advantage. This is before they started doing the thing where your rival gets the Pokemon that is weak to your starter. I'm glad they stopped doing that. 69 experience, nice. Well, I'm glad they... I'm not glad they started doing that. I really want the rival to have the type effectiveness against you. You know, it's better. I feel like it allows you to learn about type matchups better by having to deal with someone that is strong against you, instead of the babyfication that has happened to Pokemon over the last couple of years. We also learned Mud Slap. Mud Slap is a very mid ground type move. We also leveled up twice, thanks to that little boost of experience from our one Pokemon Wild encounter. But yeah, Mud Slap is an okay ground type move. It's a really basic starter move that doesn't offer much in terms of damage, but what it does lack in damage, it makes up for in accuracy lowering, which can be decent for cheese if you're trying to do that. Wow, that's great, Sage. You're pretty good. And I got $300 for winning. I think I know why my dad has an eye out for you now. I mean, you just got that Pokemon, but it already likes you. You might be able to befriend any kind of Pokemon easily. Well, it's time to head back to the lab. Now, I say dollars, but it's probably closer to like a yen conversion rate. So let's say that's probably like $3, maybe $2.50 if we're being honest, you know. Let's see. Let's talk to the people in town first. I want to take a rest, so I'm saving my progress. And see, there you go. They teach you about saving. This, obviously, the first town, Oldale Town, it's a lot of tutorialization. It's going to teach you the basics of how things work. When a Pokemon battle starts, the one at the left of the list goes out first. So when you get more Pokemon in your party, try switching around the order of your Pokemon. It could give you an advantage. That, also a good hint if you're trying to figure out, like, team balancing, obviously. It's a good thing to hold on to. And then let's go in here. Yes, 2 NPCs. When Pokemon battle, they eventually level up and become stronger. No shit, Sherlock. If the Pokemon with you become stronger, you'll be able to go farther away from here. Again, and I reiterate, no shit, Sherlock. We didn't talk to the NPCs in the Pokemon Mart, so we'll give them a quick conversation. The clerk says they're all sold out. I can't buy any Pokeballs. That's absurd. If a Pokemon gets hurt and loses its HP and faints, it won't be able to battle. To prevent your Pokemon from fainting, restore its HP with a potion. Really solid information. You know, teaching new players about the basics of of combat and learning how to handle, like, healing your Pokemon if you're away from a center. I am going to heal real quick. We're going to do that. I'm just... Alright, that PC in the corner there is for any Pokemon trainer to use. Naturally, that means you're welcome to use it too. Well, thank you, Jeeves. Much appreciated. The Pokemon Wireless Club on the second floor was built recently, but they say they're still making adjustments. Now, this is going to be a completely useless floor. We're never going up there. We have no reason to. Pokemon centers are great. You can use their services as much as you like, and it's all for free. You never have to worry. Gee, I'm glad that the animals have decentralized free healthcare. How does sleeping in a bed fully heal your Pokemon? Listen, they're getting rest. They're chilling. They're being chilling, you know? Sage, over here. Let's hurry home. Okay. Yeah, right. This music is so iconic to me. I love it so much. Big yawn. Let's talk to this girl. You saved Professor Birch. I'm so glad. Now, here's something that I don't think I've done very often. I don't talk to NPCs after I've already talked to them, but things have changed. You know, I'd like to learn what other special dialogues I can encounter. For instance, that girl in the Pokemart who says that they're sold out of Pokeballs. I want to see what she says now that we go back and Pokeballs are going to be available for purchase. Oh, hi, Sage. I heard you beat May on your first try. That's excellent. May's been helping with my research for a long time. May has an extensive history as a trainer already. Here, Sage, I ordered this for my research, but I think you should have this Pokedex. Oh, well, thank you for the Pokedex. This is going to be the crux of this whole challenge. Thank God we can start it. The Pokedex is a high-tech tool that automatically makes a record of any Pokemon you meet or catch. My kid May goes everywhere with it. Whenever my kid catches a rare Pokemon and records its data in the Pokedex, why, May looks for me while I'm out doing field work and shows me.
Oh, wow, Sage, you got a Pokedex too? That's great, just like me. I've got something for you too.
And we obtained the Pokeballs, 5 Pokeballs to be specific.
It's fun if you can get a lot of Pokemon. I'm going to look all over the place because I want different Pokemon. If I find any cute Pokemon, I'll catch them with Pokeballs.
Yep, that's how that works.
Professor Birch is studying the habitats and distribution of Pokemon. The professor enjoys May's help, too. There's a lot of love there.
Well, I'm glad that they have a very healthy father-daughter relationship. If only my father weren't a deadbeat and decided to run away and run his gym. Wait, Sage! And here, the greatest invention in all of Gen 3.
Sage, did you introduce yourself to Professor Birch? Oh, what an adorable Pokemon. You got it from Professor Birch, how nice.
You're your father's child, all right. You look good together with Pokemon. Here, honey, if you're going out on an adventure, wear these running shoes. They'll put a zip in your step. And we switched the shoes with the running shoes. Those shoes came with instructions. I'm not going to read them because I know how to play Pokemon. To think that you have your very own Pokemon now. Your father will be overjoyed. But please, be careful. If anything happens, you can come home. Go on, go get him, honey. Now, technically speaking, you know, she'll always chase after you, but if you decided to come up and around like this, she will follow you up before you can exit the town. That is something that I learned as a kid. I didn't showcase it there because I didn't think about it until I was doing the dialogue. But now we can encounter and capture our first Pokemon. And it's a Wurmple. Alright. Now, we are going to need to evolve Wurmple twice, most likely, unless we decide to just catch whichever cocoon we don't get in the forest, which I think we might do. We'll just go to Petalburg Woods and do that. Alright, the Wurmple's data was added to the Pokedex. It sticks to tree branches and eats leaves. The thread it spits from its mouth, which becomes gooey when it touches air, slows the movement of its foes. Alright, and we are going to name you Spupe. You're Spupe, not to be confused with Spupa. Different Pokemon. That's just a Spupe. Unrelated. Next, we have Poochyena. Now, Poochyena is actually a fairly decent early Nuzlocke encounter because of the fact that it gains access to the ability Intimidate upon evolution. Intimidate is basically, like, the best ability that you can have for Nuzlocke, and unironically competitive Pokemon, too. Now, granted, we're not doing a Nuzlocke, but I feel like I would point it out. I'm going to be a wellspring of useless, in most cases, Pokemon knowledge, and I would love to be able to share that with people. Alright, Poochyena's data was added to the Pokedex. It savagely threatens foes with bared fangs. It chases after fleeing targets tenaciously. It turns tail and runs, however, if the foe strikes back. Give a nickname to the Poochyena. I am going to name you Chomp, but spelt funny. This is Chomp. Okay, and let's just... Ah, and there's our Zigzagoon. Perfect. Alright. Rubbing its nose against the ground, it always wanders about back and forth in search of something. It is distinguished by the zigzag footprints it leaves. Alright, and you are going to be named Sniffer, because you are looking for things all the time. So you're Sniffer. Now... let's take a quick peek-see at what we've got here. Obviously, we have Spupe, Hardy Nature, with Shield Dust, not exciting. Runaway, obviously, its whole thing is running away, with a Bold Nature. And Pickup, the single most important ability in this game. Above any other ability in any Pokemon game, Emerald Pickup is the #1. We have to get them to level 21 for it to be completely viable, but we will do that, and it's going to be good. Yes, rare candy. There are going to be lots and lots of rare candies because I intend to, while grinding Pokemon, have a team of 1 attacker and 5 Zigzagoons. We're not going to... Oh, wait. Before we do anything, I finished sketching the footprints of a rare Pokemon, but it turns out they were only my own footprints. You idiot. And let's read this new dialogue, which we haven't seen yet. I'm going to buy a bunch of Pokeballs and catch a bunch of Pokemon. Oh, see, there you go. I never would have seen that before. Let's just max out the amount of balls we got. We get 16, and I'll throw in a Premier Ball, too. That was something that they added in Gen 3, very specifically Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. It's not in Fire Red and Leaf Green.
but it's an iconic part of buying 10 Pokeballs at a time. We aren't going to run from Pokemon that we haven't caught yet, simply because of the fact that we just want to, you know, get as much experience as possible, and Kipper is going to be one hell of a grind this early in the game. We are, in fact, going to catch this Zigzagoon, though, as long as I don't crit them, you know? Ooh, level 4. Alright, so that one's already a step closer to being more viable for our pickup strats as well. We are going to throw the Pokeball at it. The last one is Sniffer, so you're going to be Sneefer. Alright, and we're looking for Wingull right now. That is the last encounter that we need before we move on to the routes beyond Oldale and get to Petalburg City. Let's see here. What's going to be the hardest grind? At this point in the game, the hardest grind is absolutely going to be the starter. Getting it from level 5 to level 36 is a massive slog. And then generally, there's a lot of late game encounters that are going to be difficult as well. There's obviously certain Pokemon that have friendship-based evolutions. There are certain Pokemon that have stone-based evolutions. And then any Pokemon that you have to specifically grind the levels out on, there's one main issue that we didn't have to deal with when we were doing the Leaf Green POC, which in this instance is the lack of a VS Seeker. Without a VS Seeker, we're not able to rematch trainers as reliably. There is the match call function, but you only gain access to that after Gym 5, as opposed to when you first get to Vermilion City in Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green. We did add Wingull to the deck, so let's read here. It makes its nest on a sheer cliff at the edge of the sea. It has trouble keeping its wings flapping in flight. Instead, it soars on updrafts. Alright. And this Wingull, what would be a good name for the Wingull? I don't know. I'm gonna name you Deshore. Because if there's one thing I know about heading to the shore, it's the excessive amount of seagulls. And one thing I've learned even more about living by the shore, again, is the excessive amount of seagulls. I'm going to get us up to level 10 real quick before we move on to Oldale Town. And we're also going to look. Both Sniffer and Sneefer have items already. We're going to take that. We get a Repel. And we get an X attack. Not bad stuff. Like I said, the Repel table is pretty neat in this portion of the game. We are also going to save trainer fights for when we actually want to level up Pokemon. We're not going to, you know, do any, like, trainer battles if it's not going to immediately benefit us. So, like, if we can skip a trainer battle until we have a Pokemon that needs levels, we're going to skip that trainer battle. It's going to be a lot of, like, quick maneuvering. I'm going to turn off super speed in moments like that, and we got water gun, so now we can start making our way to the east. Now there are some new encounters. Obviously we have Lotad here, which is a very interesting water grass type, first of its kind. And let me just pull up, hang on. That's Bing Chilling. Okay. Slow down. Right. Okay, so, we have the 1% encounter of Seedot on this route, as well as the 4% encounter of Ralts on this route. There is the opportunity to get a Seedot traded to you in Rustboro City, once we get to that point in the game. However, the issue with that is they will stop obeying us after level 11 with no badges, and it takes level 14 to evolve Seedot into Nuzleaf, and I'd rather not have to deal with a Pokemon actively disobeying me, so we're just going to look for the 1%. This Pokemon lives in ponds with clean water. It is known to ferry small Pokemon across ponds by carrying them on the broad leaf on its head. Now, I have a very big soft spot in my heart for Lotad. I love this little thing so much. You think you're going to get another water grass type? Have we already gotten another water grass type? No, I don't think we have. I mean, it would be interesting. I'd like to see them flesh out some of the other type combos that we haven't gotten yet. You know, like there's still a handful that we have yet to see. And I would very much like to see them do the remaining combos that have not been done. You know, once we've knocked out all the ones that haven't been done, then we can do it, obviously. Lotad's nickname, Dish Network. Name you after a satellite. Yep, Dish Network. Okay, well, we're going to keep looking. And we're going to keep grinding. Mudkip, we are just going to use Water Gun on primarily from this point forward. I am going to switch that into the first slot, so that way we can have that as more reliable damage. And like I said, I'm going to wait until we level up our Caterpie and evolve it to see which other cocoon we need. Although, if push comes to shove... well, no, we'll get there. We'll get there when we get there. That is a bridge we don't need to cross just yet. Okay, and this we will tackle here. Now that we're level 11, let's take a look. Oh, Sniffer and Sneefer already have something for us. An Ultra Ball, goddamn, and an Ultra Ball. Oh my lord. So that is probably my favorite part about the encounter table, or the pickup table in Emerald, is that you could just get really cool stuff at any point in time. That was a bad idea. Let's see. There is the 4% Ralts. That was a little close for comfort. I'm going to catch you in a Premier Ball, though, because I like you, and I think you deserve a cool ball. Thank you. Thank you. Alright. A Ralts has the power to sense the emotions of people and Pokemon with the horns on its head. It takes cover if it senses any hostility. I'm going to name you Rosalina, just because Gardevoir gives off very big Rosalina vibes. And, you know, this is pre-Gallade, so we don't have to worry about that at all. And now let's just look for that 1% C-Dot, shall we? Thankfully, we're at least getting something out of this, and the fact that we're grinding up levels, always helpful, given the nature of the challenge. Come on now. You know, we'll fight the trainer. Youngster Calvin's going to send out a Poochyena. Not that scary, let's be honest. Oh, you used a Howl. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Another Ralts. Alright, not what I expected to see. Sniffer and Sneefer have stuff for us as well, so we're going to take a look at that. A Super Potion, okay. And a Repel. You know what? We'll start building up our army in the background as well. This is going to be Snoofer. We got Sniffer, Sneefer, and Snoofer. Alright, and this guy, he's got a Tailo and a Zigzagoon. I always forget the first mon, but I know he has a Tailo to introduce us to the flying type, if we haven't already encountered any Wingull yet. Now this, we are going to pay very close attention to. berries. Friendly reminder that we're going to need to make some poffins, and in order to, not poffins, Pokeblocks, because there's one specific Pokemon, and I am terrified of this one Pokemon, and I knew I was getting myself into this when I started this. Feebas. We need a max beauty stat Feebas in order to get a Milotic, eventually. We don't have to worry about it now, but we need to think about it ahead of time. So we're going to pick our Oran Berries, and we're going to clean this plot. Yep, and we're going to pick our Pecha Berries, and we're clean the plot. And then we're going to fight this Lass, who I believe has a Zigzagoon and a Shroomish, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. My memory serves me well. We're going to get that free potion right there as well. While we're in here, let's talk to some people, see what everyone has to say. This guy's going to tell us about the map, I believe. Hello there, trainer. You've got a wonderful smile there. I have a hobby, collecting the... Oh, yes, this guy. So, how about it? May I see your profile? No. When my Pokemon ate an Oranberry, it regained HP. Yeah. There are many, many types of Pokemon. I don't know why I said many twice. All types have their strengths and weaknesses against each other, or against other types. Depending on the types of Pokemon, a battle could be easy or hard. For example, your Mudkip is a water type. It's strong against the fire type, but it's weak against grass type and electric type Pokemon. Now, I'm curious, does she have any dialogue for other Pokemon besides your starter? I've never actually looked into that, because I don't think I've ever talked to her outside of having my starter in the start. No, okay. That would have been neat, but alas, they decided not to be. What does Sniffer have? An X attack, okay. That PC-based Pokemon storage system. Whoever made it must be some kind of a scientific wizard. Well, I know who she is, and I wouldn't call her a wizard. More of a hermit, if anything. Alright, we are just going to keep looking for the C-Dot here. I could just do the trade in Rustboro, but I'm going to see how long this process is going to take me. Also, we have to get this. This makes Zigzagoon number 4, I believe. This one is going to be named Snuffer. Yeah, depending how long this takes, I might decide to double back and go for the trade instead. Simply because of the fact that I'd rather not spend more time than we need to, given how long that this pre-Gym 1 grind is going to be compared to what it was in Fire Red and Leaf Green. This stream series is going to be significantly longer than Fire Red and Leaf Green, or than Leaf Green was. So, bear in mind for that, we're going to buckle in for a really long adventure together. But that's okay, because I genuinely love everything about this game, and I can't imagine a Professor Oak challenge is going to make me change that opinion. I've played this game front to back, sideways, left and right, every direction you can think of. Excuse me, sorry. I even though I didn't finish it completely, I did do the Mudkip only challenge for a bit there. And I managed to get up to the champion fight before dying the last time I attempted. I need to level up very high. I'll come back to it eventually, you know. I might reset for a beneficial nature Mudkip the next time I try to do it, though. Alright, before we even talk to our father, I want to have a full, or not a fully evolved starter, but a Marsh Stomp at the very least, because I think that'd be funny. Okay, and one more brings us to level 15. Okay. We don't care about Bide. Bide sucks. Any move that makes me take damage to deal damage, not smart. Not wise. Okay. Now, there are quite a few 1%ers in the Emerald run, if I'm not mistaken. So we do have our work cut out for us, given that CDOT is only the first of many that we're going to have to deal with. But, you know, we're going to stay at it regardless, and we're going to keep grinding, and we're going to do our best. Because that is really all we can do, isn't it? You know? Okay. And we have 2 more water guns. Yeah, right? Okay. I didn't mean to do that. Sick. Our first evolution of many. How exciting. I'd like to thank the Academy for this prestigious award. Your Kipper evolved into Marshtomp. And you see, Starter 2 highlights Combuskin, which means Starter 3 highlights the true alpha of this journey here. Mudshot, a much better move than Mudslap, but we are not going to replace Mudslap with Mudshot because we want every bit of attacking move that we can get our hands on for this grind. Okay, well, let's go talk to our dad. And we're gonna watch Wally. Oh, sorry. Then I guess you're going to become a trainer like me, Sage. I skipped so much dialogue. Do you even care what I'm saying? Were you listening to me? That's great news. I'll be looking forward to it. Ah, yes! My better replacement son. I'd like to get a Pokemon, please. Ah, yes. Better Sage. How are you? I'm gonna go stay with my relatives in Verdant Turf Town. I thought I would be lonely by myself, so I wanted to take a Pokemon along. But I've never caught a Pokemon before. I don't know how. I see. Sage, you heard that, right? Go help this kid catch a Pokemon. Show him what it means to be a Pokemon trainer. Here, I'll loan you my Pokemon. I didn't do that for my son. Oh, wow, a Pokemon. I'll give you a Pokeball, too. Go for it. Wow, you must care a lot about me. Sage, would you really come with me? And we're going to skip this. We're going to watch Wally catch a Ralts. Woo, whoop-de-doo. Fun thing, in the party randomizer subset for Pokemon Emerald, when you get to that point in the game, there's an achievement specifically for Wally knocking out the Pokemon. Which I think I reset like 20 times just to get the right Pokemon on his side. So, did it work out? Thank you, yes, it did. Here's your Pokemon back. Sage, thank you for coming along with me. You two are why I was able to catch my Pokemon. I promise I'll take really good care of it. Oh, my mom's waiting for me, so I have to go. Bye, Sage. Later, Wallace? Wally, sorry. I wonder if Wally is short for Wallace. In which case, there are 2 Wallaces. We're not going to think about it. Now, Sage, if you want to become a strong trainer, here's my advice. Grow the fuck up. Head for Rustboro City beyond this town. There you should challenge the gym leader, Roxanne. After her, go on to other Pokemon gyms, that's worded weird, and defeat their leaders. Collect badges from them, understood? Of course, I'm a gym leader too. We'll battle one day, Sage, but that's only after you become stronger. That's right, you're too much of a bitch to fight me now. A little too much vitriol in my voice there. Ooh. I don't know why I'm coming in here. Let's get back to it, shall we? Actually, while I'm here, take, and, because I'm thinking about it, shush. Gotta take Snoofer. Gotta take Snuffer. And we are moving Spoop out. Come on. You know you want to give me the Pokemon I'm looking for. I know it's only a 1% encounter, but it's not impossible. Okay. I hate how hungry I just got. Oh, shit! We ain't even... I'm not messing around. I'm... Yep. Yes! It hangs off branches and absorbs nutrients. When it finishes eating, its body becomes so heavy that it drops to the ground with a thump. You know, a little... real quick. What am I going to name this C-Dot? D's. And I'm just looking for one more Zigzagoon so I can round out the party. And there we go. I'm just going to throw a Great Ball at you. Fuck it. And you, we got Sneefer, Snuffer, Snoofer, Sniffer. And of course... Fuck. Snapper. Well, there we go. That is Route 102 done. We're going to heal up real quick just so we can get our PP back up to good standing. We are going to grab Snaffer and then stick this C-Dot in the box while we grind out levels on Mudkip, or Marshtomp, I should say. And let's talk to some people. Let's get to know the lay of the land. My face is reflected in the water. It's a shining grin full of hope. Or it could be a look of somber silence, struggling with fear. What do you see reflected in your face? Every once in a while, my eyes get too close together in my reflection. Traveling is wonderful. When I was young, I roamed the seas and the mountains. That's cute, Grandpa. Go to bed. I wish I could go on an adventure with some Pokemon. Crawl through some damp grass, climb rocky, rugged mountains, cross the raging seas, wander about in dark caves, and sometimes even get a little homesick. It must be fabulous to travel. I will say, I haven't traveled very far in life, but the few places that I've been have really highlighted to me that I like the idea of traveling around the world. It's fun. No, there's nothing there. Norman became our town's new gym leader. I think he called his family over from somewhere far away. Now, I believe the canon explanation is that you're from Johto? I battled Norman once, but whew, he was way too strong. How would I put it? I just got the feeling that he lives for Pokemon. Yeah, he doesn't live for his family. Hiya, are you maybe a rookie trainer? Do you know what Pokemon trainers do when they reach a new town? They first check what kind of gym is in the town. Well, Norman, a man in pursuit of power. Jeez, that's... alright. Let's say you have 6 Pokemon. If you catch another one, it is automatically sent to a storage box over a PC connection. Technology is incredible. Even if a Pokemon is weak now, it will grow stronger. The most important thing is love. Love for your Pokemon. Do you use Repel? It keeps Pokemon away, so it's useful when you're in a hurry. Do you have any antidotes with you? If you walk around with a poisoned Pokemon, it will lose HP until it faints. Take some antidotes with you. Okay. Let's just... let's buy one Pokemon. I didn't realize how little money I had. And this is Wally's house. You must be Sage, right? Thank you for playing with Wally a little while ago. He's been frail and sickly ever since he was a baby, on account of me dropping him on his head. We've sent him to stay with my relatives in Verdanturf Town for a while. The air is a lot cleaner there than it is here. What's that? Where's Wally? He's already left. Our Wally. I wonder where he could have gotten by now. This just in. Wally found dead in a ditch in Miami. Wally was really happy when he told us that he caught a Pokemon. It's been ages since I've seen him smile like that. Well, maybe you guys should have been better parents, maybe. I don't know. Excuse me! Let me guess, from the way you're dressed, are you a Pokemon trainer? Well, maybe not. Your clothes aren't all that dirty. You're either a rookie trainer, or maybe you're just an ordinary kid. I'm roaming the land in search of talented trainers. I'm sorry to have taken your time. You dick. I'm a baby. Shut up. I'll have you know, I have a level 16 Marshtomp and 5 Zigzagoons. Well, welcome to the next route, which is Route 104. Route 104 offers us 2 new land-based encounters in the form of Marill and Tailo. We get our hands on some brand new Pokemon. Very fun times. We also get to beat the ever-living shit out of some Zigzagoons again, which is nice. And we have higher level thresholds. Now, Marill here. Marill is an interesting case. Marill, fun fact, if you have an Azurill before a Marill, can change gender upon evolution. It's a very interesting glitch. You see, in Generation 3, the gender ratio for Azurill was different than the gender ratio for Marill. This meant that if you had I believe it was a female Azurill, and you leveled it up for evolution, well, not leveled up, if it had a high enough friendship and evolved, it could change to a male. Which is why there is very specifically an achievement centered around it in one of the Gen 3 sets. I don't remember if it's Ruby, Sapphire, I know it's not Emerald. I don't know. Tailo's data was added to the Pokedex. Although it is small, it is very courageous. It will take on a larger Skarmory on an equal footing. However, its will weakens if it becomes hungry. Alright. I am going to name Tailo Twitter. Okay. And now we just need to get our hands on a Marill, and we will have every encounter for this route so far. Once we reach Dewford, the region pretty much opens up. I think Dewford's the 5th gym badge in the Professor Oak Challenge, if I'm not mistaken. We are going to put Sneefer out. They're probably going to, yeah, go for the defense curls. Just to make sure I don't accidentally not catch it. Alright. Its body is covered with water-repellent fur. Because of the fur, it can swim through water at high speed without being slowed by the water's resistance. I am going to name this Marill after the Azumarill that I have in Pokemon Violet. This is Big Mom. And yes, that is a One Piece reference. Because why not? Greatest anime series of all time. Greatest manga of all time. Fight me. Alright, and we also have some items. A super potion. An antidote. Hello? Hello? And a potion. Now, we are going to catch one more Zigzagoon, because the Zigzagoon that we catch is going to be our evolution Zigzagoon. And while the other ones are all used for their sniffers and sneefers and whatnot, in order to get us items, this special Zigzagoon is a cut above the rest. This Zigzagoon is going to evolve into a mighty Linoon. This Zigzagoon is the Chosen. Most impressive. A very powerful Zigzagoon with an even more powerful name to match. I approve. Reference to the Chosen from Smosh's Try Not to Laugh series and other content, yeah. Alright, well, we do have some trainer fights down here. You are not a trainer, but they do let you know. That's right, if trainers lock eyes, it's a challenge to battle. If you don't want to battle, stay out of their sight. Well, I want to battle. You could say, Sage wants to battle. No? Nothing? Not a... Sorry, reference to another YouTuber. Again. Leaving footprints in the sand is so fun. I bet it is, kid. Anyways. I'm just gonna... Oof. Wow, growth. Oh, I got sand in my runners. They're all gritty. You loser. The sea, huh? I wonder what it's like at the bottom of the sea. Why are you thinking that while staring at the water? Bro. I fished up a tough-looking Pokemon. It has this magical quality to it. It surely looks tough. Yes, it does. What the? I don't think I've ever read that dialogue. Now, as you can see, this is empty. This is Mr. Barney's cottage. He is not here, and he is actually pre-locked to not show up until after you've defeated the Rustboro Gym. His sprite, while just being the generic old man sprite, is currently out of the world. It's not here. It's gone. It's missing. We also have some more berries. We have 2 more Pecha berries, and I believe this is also Oran berries. Yeah. Here we have... We must have been fated to meet. May I ask you for a battle? We have Lady Cindy. Now, Lady Cindy and Lad Winston, who is on the other side, they are very unique trainers in the sense that if they get knocked down to the red, they will use a full restore on their level 7 Zigzagoons. It's a very unique, interesting thing that they showcase, but it's a neat way of letting you know that trainers, in some instances, can use items in battle, and they want to prepare you for that because the gym leader usually is the first instance of a trainer using an item, but they wanted to set that up early, and I think that's a really cool way of showing that mechanic. Oh my! Huh, oh my indeed! Sometimes there are things on the ground, even if you can't see them. That's why I always check where I'm walking. Oh, you mean like this? Oh, well. We got a Cascoon! I am not going to catch that. There's a potion right there. We also come down here and we get another Pokeball. You're a thief if you try to steal someone else's Pokemon. You should throw Pokeballs only at wild Pokemon. Yeah, well, tell that to my young self playing Pokemon Soul Silver with an action replay, huh? Yeah, that didn't kill. I didn't think it would. And this, good. Shroomish's data was added to the Pokedex. It loves to eat damp, composted soil in forests. If you enter a forest after a long rain, you can see many Shroomish feasting on composted soil. Well, it is raining outside right now, so that is pretty accurate. So I don't know why I'm saying compost instead of compost. I'm not British. I'm gonna name you Shroomba. Shroomba. Silcoon, that is an encounter that we will need. Oh, resistant, are we? Well, now that you've done that 3 times... and we got the crit anyways. Okay. Ooh, Slackoff. Slackoff is the rare encounter here. It sleeps virtually all day and night long. It doesn't change its nest its entire life, but it sometimes travels great distances by swimming in rivers. Give a nickname to Slackoff? Now, I did say that the hardest grind is probably going to be the starter. There's one that's a bit more difficult, though. And it's Pain right here. And no, I'm not referencing the Naruto character. I'm referencing the amount of suffering that I am going to have to go through grinding a Pokemon that only moves once every other turn. God, I cannot wait to get a Vigoroth. Just gonna water gun spam. Got $48 for that. Alrighty then. And a Paralyze Heal, not bad. Not a one to be found. Hello, have you seen any Pokemon called Shroomish around here? I have! I really love that Pokemon. I was gonna ambush you, but you had to dawdle in Petalburg Woods forever, didn't you? I got sick of waiting, so here I am. You, Devon Researcher, hand over those papers. Aye! You're a Pokemon trainer, aren't you? You've got to help me, please. Huh? What do you think you're doing? What, you're gonna protect him? No one crosses Team Aqua gets any mercy. No one who crosses Team Aqua, my apologies, gets any mercy. Not even a kid. Come on and battle me. Oh, buddy, you don't know what you're getting yourself into here. You're kidding me. You're tough. You've got some nerve meddling with Team Aqua.
Come on and battle me again. I wish I could say that, but I'm out of Pokemon. And hey, we have Team Aqua are also after something in Rustboro. I'll let you go today.
Whew, that was awfully close. Thanks to you, he didn't rob me of these important papers. I know, I'll give you a great ball as my thanks. Thank you. Didn't that Team Aqua thug say they were after something in Rustboro too? Uh-oh, it's a crisis! I can't be wasting time!
Yeah, run away, dude. What do you got for me? Potion? Nice. Potion. And a repel. Another Silcoon. Ah.
Yo there, your Pokemon doing okay? If your Pokemon are weak and you want to avoid battles, you should stay out of tall grass. Shut up.
Ooh. Interesting. Nincada. And another Nincada. The only instance of a bug ground type. Ugh. We need more. I can't be popular if I lose. Well, you're probably not going to be popular because you're using bug types, dog. Take it from a bug type fan. I know they're not great. Alright, let's just do this because this gives points if I'm not mistaken. Actually, stop. Wow, you are resistant. Let's see. Yeah, unlike the Leaf Green set, these achievements all give points. I think they're, what, 1-pointers? 1, 2 for the evolution, and 3 for the final stage, yeah. So I'm going to be getting points the whole way through, as opposed to playing Leaf Green, where I only got points sometimes. Damn, I'm in the top 19.84% of players on the website. Literally 1984. My goodness. Thank you. To avoid detection by its enemies, it hides motionlessly beneath large leaves and in the gaps of branches. It also attaches dead leaves to its body for camouflage. I'm gonna name you Poink. I don't know why it came to my brain to name you Poink, but we're just going with it. I'm not gonna argue with the lack of cohesion in my thoughts, and I didn't mean to run there. This guy will give you Bullet Seed. It is a fairly decent grass-type attacking move that they probably recommend giving to your Trico when you first get into the game. It's going to deal more damage than Absorb, and it's probably more consistent across the board. In here, you can talk to this girl, and she'll give you an Asperberry. And if you talk to this one, she'll give you the Whalmer Pail, which allows you to water plants. She is the one that... she'll ask you to learn about berries. And then up here, this is still Route 103, or 104, by the way. Route 104 does not end in the traditional sense and come up to Route 105, like so. Route 105 comes later. Here's that Duke Winston, our rich boy Winston. Should I or shouldn't I? Okay, sure, I will battle. Bitch. Bitch! Okay, we got some items to take. Potion. Potion. Repel. And potion. Okay. These are twins. This is our first introduction to the double battle concept, which was introduced in Gen 3. Up until Gen 3, there were no double battles. You're gonna harden, so that's whatever. And then you are also a fight. You just have Magikarps. Okay, and we've got 2 cherry berries. This lady will give us berry as well, Chesto Berry. And then we get 2 Lepa berries. Then coming up here, we have an X Defend. We can't do anything there. Now this house right here, if I'm not mistaken... No. I am mistaken. It is... Is it this one? No. Here we go. This person wants a Ralts, and he'll give you a C-Dot. I don't think that trade's worth it. In other... What's it? I think it was... In Ruby and Sapphire, if you give him a Slackoth, he'll give you a Makuhita, which is actually very interesting because it gives you access to the fighting type much earlier than you would have experienced it before, unless you evolve your Torchic into a Combuskin early. We are not going to go through with that trade, but this guy is going to tell you that you can find all sorts of interesting stuff by just talking to people, which, if you do as so, will give you a Quick Claw. Also, Scott's here.
Hello? Didn't we meet before? I think back in Petalburg City. Let me introduce myself. My name's Scott. I've been traveling everywhere in search of outstanding trainers. More specifically, I'm looking for Pokemon battle experts. So, what brings you to this school? Are you a trainer too? The first thing you should do is to have a Pokemon learn the move Cut. If I remember correctly, someone in this town has Cut. That is correct. If you go next door to the Pokemon Center, you've got the Cut Master's house. This guy will give you the HM for Cut, and while you cannot use it outside of battle until you've defeated Roxanne, it's good to get it ahead of time.
My Pokemon has a naive nature, and my friends has a jolly nature. It's fascinating how Pokemon have personalities.
Now, natures, for the uninitiated, are a feature in Pokemon, also added in Gen 3 like abilities, that give Pokemon different stat ups and pluses and minuses depending on the nature you have. For instance, I mentioned at the beginning that I wish that my Mudkip had a modest nature. That would be a plus special attacking nature. It's the kind of nature that you'd want to get on a Mudkip, considering that most of its move pool is probably going to be water or ice based. You might have a single ground type move on there in the form of Earthquake, most likely. But you're probably going to have Surf, probably Muddy Water, probably Ice Beam. You know, those are likely the three moves you're going to have besides Earthquake on your Swampert.
The man next door gave me an HM. I used it to teach my Pokemon how to cut down skinny trees.
Just like people, there are male and female Pokemon, but no one seems to have any idea how they're different. Oh, well. They're different in the fact that one's a male and one's a female.
A Pokemon you get in a trade from someone grows fast, but if you don't have your certain gym badges, they may not obey.
Sorry, I'm yawning mid-conversation. I mean, not mid-conversation, mid-talking. Oof. I didn't get sleep very well last night. I don't get a lot of sleep, actually, now that I think about it. Up here, we can't encounter any Pokemon on this route, but we can get one Super Potion, which is pretty neat. And we do have some more items to get. Another Super Potion, always fun. Another Super Potion. Oh, come on now. And a potion. Okay. So, I haven't looked at my bag. Wow, we are loaded up on stuff. Let's do some light reorganizing here. No. Move that down. We're gonna move the ether up. We're gonna have the battle items there. Consumable there. Okay. Now, over here, we do have a few more encounters. Skitty, I believe, is the 1% encounter for the area. Let me pull up my guide real quick and see what we're working with. Right, got that. Got that. I forgot. There is one evolution that is going to be significantly worse. Yeah. Damn. Alright. I forgot that Exploud evolves at level 40.
Okay, well, just ran around in the grass for a bit. We got Whismur.
Yeah, I kill everything upon one hit. A really fast Skitty. I'm gonna throw the Great Ball at it. A Skitty's adorably cute behavior makes it highly popular. In battle, it makes its tail puff out. It threatens foes with a sharp growl. Doesn't do much else, though. I'm gonna name you Skeeter, after the friend from Doug. Not at all a reference to a Lil Wayne song. Get your mind out of the gutter. The other encounters that we have available to us here, we have Abra, which evolves into Kadabra, and we have Nincada here, who Nincada is a very interesting case. Nincada is the only instance of a Pokemon that evolves into two different Pokemon at the same time. Because Nincada, at level 20, will evolve into Ninjask, but if you have an empty slot in your party and a Pokeball in your bag, you will also get a Shedinja, which is very, very unique Pokemon. It makes its nest at the roots of a mighty tree. Using its whisker-like antennae, it probes its surroundings in the pitch-black darkness of soil. I'm going to name you... You're Skitter. Okay, and then that just leaves getting Abra and Whismur. I'm not too worried about getting the Whismur. I mean, obviously it's right in front of us here. But if we didn't get it here, Whismur is also in Rustboro Tunnel, otherwise known as Whismur Cave. Its cries equal a jet plane in volume. It inhales through its ear canals. Because of this system, it can cry continually without having to catch its breath. I'm gonna name you Painter. And thusly, we have but one more encounter here. And it's a lot of hoping and praying involved in catching it. Thankfully, at the very least, getting an Abra to a Kadabra, while a little tedious, isn't going to be all that bad in the long run. Because once we have Kadabra at level 16, we don't need to do anything else with it. Because, like in Leaf Green, there are no trade evos, meaning we cannot get Alakazam, which means we just get to leave it be. It is moments like this where I wish that the link cable item that they introduced in Legends Arceus existed in mainline games here, all the way back when, for people who don't have friends. Because, let's be honest, I don't know many people growing up that had an Alakazam, or had a Gengar, or a Golem, and stuff like that. That's because we lacked the necessary link cable required for trading, up until they started doing the, like, infrared, stuff. I don't want to learn Foresight, no. Let's see. We do have some items to pick up from the gang. Potion. Potion. Oh, Repel. Excuse me. And a Great Ball. Always good to replenish our ball storage. That might actually come in handy for when we encounter Abra, because we're throwing that ball off rip. We're not going to fight it, because all it knows is teleport, which means the second we try to, it's going to dip. Not to mention they're incredibly physically frail, and I'm not dealing with that. And there's our Abra. Will you stay? Nope. Alright. We do a little healing, you know? Alright, now... bear with me for a moment, folks. I'm going to leave you with the lovely music of Rustboro City. And I will be right back. Okay, sorry. I'm back now. I went to go get an ice pop. Because I'm hungry. But I also haven't, like, thought about what I want to eat food-wise. And, you know, I could order something right now. But do I really want to, is the question at hand. Okay. Now, thankfully, we don't have to worry about the very common soft block issue of running out of Pokeballs. Because, unlike in other games, where if you run out of balls and you have to deal with, like, say, a Teleportmon, you're literally SOL. I have the wonderful majesty that is all of my Pokemon that have pickup. So not only can I get more balls that way, but I also just kind of don't have anything to worry about in terms of money ever again. That was so fast finding another item. Let's keep looking, though. This is a very satisfying ice pop. Alright. Another shot at the Abra. And it's gone. Okay. Sorry, I know I'm not talking much. What in the Professor Oak challenge is happening? Well, yesterday we finished Pokemon Leaf Green. It's done. Completely finito. Every Chivo gained. We were supposed to be playing Mariomon, but if you... I don't know if you've seen my community post yet or not. They removed support for version 1.3, and because I'm not as well versed in updating my pre-existing ROM files, I didn't want to spend a bunch of time learning how to do that before stream. So Mariomon's going to be on a little bit of a hiatus until I figure that one out. And it's really a matter of having the time to set that up. Because when I'm not streaming, I'm doing a bunch of other stuff. So it's like, I need to be able to set time aside, you know. Yes, very much thank you. It was a very exciting feeling. It was a little upsetting, unfortunately, that no one was there to see the mastery happen. But you know what? At the end of the day, I gotta remind myself I'm doing this for me. And it was still a fun time. I really enjoyed the journey getting that mastery. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you want to send me instructions, be my guest. I'll happily take the instructions. It's not a matter of, like, learning how to do it. It's just a matter of having the time to set aside to learn how to do it. Because I doubt it's really that difficult. You know, I'm sure I could just look it up and figure it out if I really felt like it. Come on, Abra. You suck. Well, let's see what everyone's got, shall we? Ah, Ultra Ball, that'll help. Mario Advance 3, that's Super Mario World, right? Because I know I know Super Mario Advanced is Mario 2. I know Advanced 4 is Mario 3. That's Yoshi's Island. Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay, well that popsicle is done. Let's see, what is this notification? Classic Mandy YouTube short. Oh man. Okay, so now we're good. Now we're gonna catch this Abra. Cool. A Pokemon that sleeps 18 hours a day. I wish. Observation revealed that it uses teleport to change its location once every hour. I am going to name you... Spork. I would really like to see a Kadabra that uses metal sporks. I think that would be a really funny design. Well, that is now every single catchable encounter before Roxanne. No, trust me, I get it. I would like to sleep 18 hours a day, more often than not, if I could help it. But now, we are going to fight some trainers, and we are going to rack up some experience. And we're going to make sure we hit this double battle, so that way some of that experience can go towards our Zigzagoons. I don't know why I did that. Nice. Okay. Yeah, because obviously the higher level Zigzagoons we have, the better items we get our hands on, and we need to get them to level 21, and then we've got our rare candy grinders right there. Mud Shot. And another Mud Shot. Wowie zowie. Before we go in, we can get this item right here, an X Special. And this... Oh, there we go. This is where we're going to be spending the next incredibly lengthy amount of time. We're going to get 3 grinds done at the very beginning. We are going to finish Swampert, and I think I'm going to focus fire on at least getting Swampert today. If we can get Swampert today, we are going to get started on the next most difficult, which happens to be Slackoth, getting to Vigoroth. Once it's Vigoroth, it's pretty much not that bad. Yes, I have my army of Zigzagoon. My army of Zigzagoon will make sure that I am constantly replenishing my item stores no matter what. Lots of potions, you know. I've gotten a handful of super potions as well. I'll show you my bag setup right now. Obviously, we're doing pretty good. I haven't bought a single one of these things. That is all from just playing. No repels were purchased. Literally, not one of these items were bought with money. The only thing I've bought so far are Pokeballs. That's it. But yeah, we're gonna hopefully get Swampert done before end of stream. Once Swampert is done, we'll move to Slackoth to Vigoroth. Once it's Vigoroth, it's really not that hard. The hardest grind that we're gonna have to do is getting Whismur, which ours, I believe, is level 6, all the way up to a whopping level 40 before the first gym leader. I completely forgot that Whismur evolves into Exploud at level 40, which means I forgot that I am subjecting myself to what is essentially hell. And, like, I thought some of the grinds in Leaf Green were going to be difficult. Or were difficult, rather. Not this case. No, Whismur puts literally every single grind from Leaf Green to aim. But thankfully, it exists in a cave that gives me the most viable experience yield over time. So I can at least take my anger against Whismur out on entire hordes of Whismur. And thankfully, grinding in here will be easy for Ralt, because with Trace, it'll get soundproof, which means it literally can't hit me with Uproar. Which is very beneficial, I think. Must learn the reality. Oh, man. So I started watching the Star Wars show Skeleton Crew yesterday. I'm on episode 4 now. It's quite good. I've used this descriptor to kind of get other people into it, but if anyone has ever seen The Goonies, it's like how at the end of The Goonies they find One-Eyed Willie's pirate ship and they sail it out, and like that's the end of their adventure. They did it. Except instead of finding One-Eyed Willie's pirate ship at the end, they find One-Eyed Willie's pirate ship at the beginning, and then the adventure starts from there. It's very interesting. They do have a pirate, not a Pirates of the Caribbean. They have I meant hard reality. Yeah, they have a reference to Peter Pan in the fact that there is a robot on the ship, or a droid rather, if we go by Star Wars terms. There is a droid on the ship whose designation is SM-33, which can be read out phonetically as Smee, which is the name of Captain Hook's little cabin boy. Well, I guess cabin man, since he's not really anything else. But I think that's a fun little reference. And then they have Jude Law, who's playing a not Jedi. Like, he's a pirate smuggler who happens to be a Force sensitive who uses the Force. It's very interesting. I like it. I like it so far. And there's also this big mystery revolving the planet that the kids come from, because, like, they're using Old Republic credits, but, like, the Old Republic died out 4,000 years prior to that, so it's like, why are you using this old currency? Also, how come your planet, like, doesn't exist? It's passed around in legend as a treasure planet. Very interesting. Also, both Goonies games. I always forget there's Goonies games, but I should check them out. Alright. Right now, I'm deliberating what I want to eat for lunch, and it is bugging me that I can't think of anything off the dome right now. Like, I know I don't want Wendy's. I had Wendy's yesterday. Well, do I want Wendy's? I don't know. Now that I said it, I kind of do. But, like, I don't know, dude. Especially Deathless, since it's very easy to die late game. Oh, there's Deathless achievements in that? Have mercy. Whoa. I can see myself maybe completing those games without mastering them. I might look into how they run on save states before trying out the full mastery. Though, I don't know. I don't think I want those, like, not fully mastered badges on the bottom of my profile. I feel like they'd be blemishes. You know? They don't look that good. And we'll just switch water gun up to the front before we go and heal. Let's see. It's 2:34. We definitely will be able to get Swampert before the end of stream, at the very least. I want to do Swampert, and like I said, I want to start the Slack Off grind before stream ends. Just as a quick update, I'll run through my decks real quick. We currently have an owned total of 18, seen 23 before the first gym. C-Dot was the only 1% encounter we've had to deal with so far, and thankfully we caught it instead of doing the trade that you can do in Rustboro City. Because in Emerald there is an NPC that you can trade with if you give them a Ralt, so they'll give you a C-Dot in return. I mentioned before, in Ruby and Sapphire, that trade is actually different. If you give them a Slack Off, they'll give you a Makuhita, which I think is a more interesting trade, because unlike where in Emerald you can catch C-Dot in the wild, and you can also catch Lotad, two different grass types, you also have Meryl, which gives you the water type, so that's, the standard type effectiveness if you, say, pick the Fire Starter. But in Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, what that presents you is the option to get a fighting type, where if you didn't pick Torchic, you're not getting a fighting type until you get to Dewford and go into the cave. Which I think it's more interesting that way. It gives you an opportunity to learn new type effectivenesses beyond the standard Water, Fire, Grass circle. Or I guess triangle. Which I always appreciate when they teach you different type effectivenesses early on. Because, like, realistically, you're not going to have... Oh, and Shroomish. There's grass types for Shroomish in Petalburg Woods. So, you've got all these opportunities. Yeah, These Pokemon Emerald streams are going to be much more knowledge-filled than the Pokemon Leaf Green streams. I know I had a lot to say in those. I'm going to have a lot more to say in this. Pokemon Emerald is my all-time favorite Pokemon game. I have played this game front to back, left, right, and center so many times over the last, like, really 20 years. I've been playing Pokemon since I was 5, so, 21 years ago, and I got Emerald on my 6th birthday, It has lasted with me for a very, very long time. Yeah, so I know a lot about this game. I didn't realize I was out of PowerPoints. I'm not struggling. Fuck that. Well, maybe one more struggle wouldn't hurt. Well, maybe one more struggle wouldn't hurt. Okay. I'm going to be able to talk in length about all the little details in Pokemon Emeralds. It is something that I probably know more about in terms of Pokemon than quite literally any other Pokemon game, if I'm being honest. Like, yeah, I've played a lot of games on top of that. I logged, I think, 200 hours in Pokemon Violet. I logged, like, 150 hours in Pokemon Sword. Like, I've definitely played a lot of Pokemon games, and a lot of different ones over the years. But Pokemon Emerald's one that I've consistently come back to. For instance, Pokemon Emerald, I mentioned this before. Yeah, this guy does know his Pokemans. He does. I mentioned this before, but Pokemon Emerald was the generation that introduced not just abilities, but natures, which up until that point did not exist. It's a very fascinating feature, and I feel like it added a new layer of depth to team building when it comes to, like, the harder fights in the game. Like, you want a Pokemon with a beneficial nature. I'm going into this fight, I'm using my physical attacking Combuskin, and you know what? My Combuskin has an adamant nature, which means that its double kick is going to do more damage than if it had, say, a modest nature. I love that kind of stuff. It's such, like, acute levels of detail. We're also 10 levels out, I should mention. While we're here, we have some items. Repel. Come on now. Hyper Potion. Ooh. Super Potion. Great Ball, and Potion. I am going to look up the Pokemon Emerald pickup table real quick. Pokemon Emerald pickup chart. Right, so the very rarest thing that I can encounter is the Nugget. It stays in my pool for things that I can encounter until, what is that, level 21 to 30. The Nugget then gets phased out for the rare candy in my rare slot, and the higher the level, the more likely I get a rare candy. From levels 91 to 100, rare candies are the lowest in the uncommon pool. Something else I want to look into down the line, I definitely want at least one Zigzagoon in the 91 to 100 range as we get further on, because it has leftovers in the pool, which is great. It also, what is that? Hover over pictures of the name. You can get Earthquake at the highest level of this as well. And Ultra Balls are currently my rare slot. The Hyper Potion, which was pretty neat to see, that's in the very rare slot right next to the Nugget, which hopefully we can start getting some of those, because that is going to be one of our big money makers going forward, is selling stuff, obviously. I'm going to use that as a means to circumvent gambling. I don't think there's any Pokemon that you can get from the game corner in Emerald. So I don't know if gambling is necessary, but I think there are some TMs that I'd want to get from the deal. So we'll have to wait once we get to Mauville. Which, fun fact, Mauville is our second gym badge. Instead of fighting Brawly when we do all the encounters, we're going to then, once we get every encounter in Dewford and the surrounding area, we're going to go to Slateport, get all of those encounters, defeat May and go up Route 113, if I'm not mistaken. Which, by the time we get to May, we're going to be fighting what is regarded as probably one of the hardest fights in Pokemon Emerald, Nuzlocking. We're going to defeat it handily. Let's go gambling! Aw, dang it. Aw, dang it. Aw, dang it. But yeah, it's going to be the third gym leader that is our second. It's fun to do these gyms out of order. I've never done that in Emerald yet. I've yet to do out of order gym leaders in Emerald. But I have done out of order gym leaders in Fire Red and Leaf Green prior. So, you know, though, admittedly, in Leaf Green's POC, it was very out of order, seeing as how my final gym badge was against Lieutenant Surge. Very fun to make Lieutenant Surge my quote-unquote final boss. It was really neat to do that because I got to have my level 38, if I'm not mistaken, Kingler just sweep with Mudshot. Because I told myself, what would be better than sending in who is both the most powerful physical attacker that's not a legendary, and also the most frail to the damage that could be done to it, Pokemon. I thought that would be a really fun little gimmick. And I was right. It was really fun. It was funny as hell. Beating Lieutenant Surge to master a game. Not what I expected, but you know what? It worked out pretty fun in the end. And I'm definitely going to go back to that save file. I think I'll probably do... I mentioned this. Actually, that is exactly what I'm going to do. I am announcing this right here because the idea just popped into my goddamn head. This Saturday, we are having a bonus stream for the week. How exciting! We're doing a bonus stream this week. Saturday night, we are going to be doing every other portion of the main story of Pokemon Leaf Green in our Professor Oak Challenge run. That's right. We are going to go through the remaining gym leaders of Sabrina and Giovanni. We are going to go through Victory Road, conquer the Elite Four, and absolutely eviscerate our rival in that final fight. And to top it all off, even though we don't need it, we are going to go and catch Mewtwo. Because I said so, damn it. Yes. It will be happening... Oh, you know, I don't know exactly what time it'll be happening. I'll have to work that out. Based on your difference in time zone, I am afraid it may or may not happen when it is too late. We will see. We will have to see. But you know what? It allows for a lot more people to watch if I do it on a Saturday evening, I think. I'm looking forward to it, though. That's going to be fun. I knew I was going to do a stream on Saturday, but I didn't know what the stream was going to be, so I'm glad I worked that out just now. What is this email? Sorry, I get like job notices from different websites every once in a while, and this one was asking for a Spanish language interpreter. Mind you, I don't speak Spanish outside of like the basic phrases. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Something something baño. Like I know how to say the word bathroom. ¿Dónde está la biblioteca? Where is the library? I can do much better in Japanese. Oh, you're Spanish. Okay. Very interesting. Very cool to know. Yeah, no, Spanish is very far from my first language. It is very far from even a second, third, or fourth language. I know enough. Tres, dos, uno. Oh, you're not Spanish. Oh, you're German, right? Did I get that right from before? I thought that was weird. That I said that. Yeah. Or like German adjacent, like maybe Austrian. Just asked if you want a Spanish job. Yes, German. Okay. Okay. Yeah. What's it? Guten Tag. Guten Tag, Herr Dashpreis. Guten Abend, mein Freund. Ich bin eine Cola. I don't think I said a real thing there. I know I said cola. I took one period of German in my junior year of high school, so that'd be year 11. And I dropped it because it was just a bunch of edgy kids making Nazi jokes, and I wasn't really comfortable with that, so I didn't need the credit. I took 2 years of honors French before that. I didn't need the language credit. Bonjour, je m'appelle Bernard, comment ça va? You know, like, I'm much better with the French. I don't retain much of the French, but I think the one thing I actually took away from the German is, like, pronunciation. You know, sprechen Sie Deutsch and all that. Obviously, that was horrible, saying sprechen Sie Deutsch. That wasn't accurate at all. I know, Kuchen is the German word for cake. You know, Japanese is my go-to language of learning. On my, what am I, like 189 days, I think? Wollen Sie einen Job? Wollen Sie einen Job? Not sure what that means. Outside of probably the word job. Yeah, Japanese is a fun language, and also silly, because I might have said this on stream before, but, like, the Japanese word for basketball is basketboru. The Japanese word for volleyball is volleyboru. The Japanese word for baseball is yakyu. Like... What's soccer? Soccer. What's tennis? Tennisu. What's table tennis? Takyu. Japanese is silly. Oh, これは私のスマホです。I quite literally just said this is my smartphone while holding up my phone. That I obviously, like I said, more than I know Spanish and German, but not like proficient. I just have pronunciation down. Da ist euer Mobiltelefon. Das ist ihr Mobiltelefon. I might have the pronunciation on that last bit wrong. Probably not bad for someone who, yeah, better than the nothing you know. Yeah, it's... I'm probably way more proficient in German than, say, the average American would probably be proficient in German, so I'll take that little chip on my shoulder, you know, it's... Not, that's the wrong term. I'll take that little badge of honor. I'll say that. It's a badge of honor that I can say words in German correctly. Man, I should look up my German teacher from my junior year. Herr Brunner, great guy. It was funny. In one of the first classes, he had this thing where at the end of class he would make a like a little question thing, like just completely random trivia, unrelated to German whatsoever. And one of the questions was very specifically, who is the captain of the USS Enterprise? And he wanted the captain before the captain that I thought of, because I wrote down James Tiberius Kirk. He wanted the captain prior to him. And he also did not want Jean-Luc Picard. his name is escaping me because I haven't watched Star Trek and I don't know how long. I probably should, because I did quite like the new Star Trek movies, and my dad got me into Star Trek at a really young age. Same with Star Wars. He loved them both pretty equally, which is very interesting, because most people aren't, like, both fans. They're one or the other. Because I know there's, like, a big war between the fandoms of the Trekkies and the Star Wars fans. Which reminds me, the movie Fanboys, which is about a bunch of people going to see, or try to get a preview of Phantom Menace before it comes out. They have a whole bit where they go on this, like, big road trip, and they stop in a town where it's, like, the heart of Star Trek fandom. Seth Rogen is in there 3 times as 3 different people, and he fights himself, which I think is great. You know, I am definitely getting Wendy's. Addiction. My spicy nugget with cola coca. Get you know, no, I'll make it 4. I'll make everyone get one. How much is this going to cost me? Not that bad, actually. Okay, worse than I thought, actually. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay. Cool. Sheesh. To confuse your enemy, you must confuse yourself type of stuff. Yeah. Okay. Let's get this grind back going, because it is now 2:54, and we still have 7 levels, well, more like 6.5 levels to go. Oh, boy. And you know what I haven't done in a little bit? Let's look at what we have. Repel. Super Potion. Potion. Antidote. Escape Rope. Oh, cool. Let's do some light shuffling real quick. We'll move the Hyper Potion up here. And the Escape Rope next to the Repels. Oh, man. You know, I'm definitely, like, hungry. Hungry hippos, the marble-eating race. You know the deal. Can I make this in the trash from here? No, I missed. I missed horribly. I tried to throw a popsicle stick away. Okay. We are a mere 6 levels away from greatness. Okay. Last water gun, and we gotta switch it. Alright. That's a shame that we're almost at healing time. So last night, I gotta talk about this. Last night, I was playing Fortnite with my fiance and my brother. And it was really fun. We were all doing music artists for our skins. He was Bruno Mars, she was Sabrina Carpenter, and I was Kirk Hammett, who's the lead singer of Metallica. No, Kirk Hammett's the guitarist. I don't know why I said that. James Hetfield. Way to go. I'm a fake fan. I'm a fake fan. I called Kirk Hammett the lead singer. It's not true. James Hetfield is the lead singer of Metallica. And I was playing as him. And we actually did pretty good. We ended on a victory together. And then the last game that me and my fiance did before we decided to stop playing was also a victory, which was pretty fun. Potion. Antidote. Repel. Potion. Antidote. Okay. Who's that? What do you mean, who's that? Which one? I'm assuming you're not talking about Bruno Mars. Or you could be referring to Sabrina Carpenter or James Hetfield. Or Kirk Hammett, because I also said his name. The people we were playing as in Fortnite. Yeah, so I was playing as James Hetfield, the lead singer of the heavy metal band Metallica. My fiance was playing as Sabrina Carpenter, who's a really big pop star right now. She started on the Disney Channel and stuff. And then my brother was Bruno Mars, who I don't know how to describe Bruno Mars other than he was like huge in the 2010s, and he's still pretty popular now. Yeah. I switch my skins around every once in a while. We did the musical people together. The one night we were all Star Wars characters, and I was Emperor Palpatine, my brother was Darth Vader, and she was a Fortnite original character with a Sith design, and I just kept doing Emperor Palpatrump. So I just kept talking like Donald Trump the entire time. Which, admittedly, it was funny for a good bit there. And, you know, my Trump impression is pretty solid, so that was nice. Oh, my back is starting to hurt. Oh, my back is hurting after carrying the franchise of Pokemon this hard. Oh, I have no idea what I'm saying. Ignore me. Ugh, okay. Tired. I'm going to turn the lights on. Because I've got all the windows open, so I've just had, like, natural light. But I feel like the bulbs might make me feel less tired. Takedown, I'm not going to do it. As much as I would much prefer a nice, high-damaging move, it really doesn't matter at this point, considering I'm OHKOing everything with every move. Come on. I'm sure this is a very appealing gameplay loop to watch back and forth. I mean, you know what? Visually, it's a lot nicer than watching me running back and forth in Viridian Woods. The bulb orbs help you keep awake. Did I hear that right? No, the light bulbs. The artificial light. It's a lot more, you know, I guess, better at keeping me awake than letting the natural light filter in the darkness of the room, because darkness makes me think sleepy time, so... No, if I had a real bulb orb, I don't know what I'd do, honestly. I don't even know how I'd probably take care of a bulb orb. Ay, ay, ay. Es un mundo de They call me un poco loco, un poquitito loco. They try to keep me guessing. I'm nodding and I'm yesing. Oh, my absolute goat, Dursadoff, picking up our food. Love her. She's great. Blue, blue. Oh, and it's on the way? Say less. X attack. Great ball. We love to see it. Potion. No. Repel. Repel. Okay. Feed it Pikmin twice a day and it should be okay. You know what? You're right. Yeah, I'll have to get a good Pikmin garden going. See if I can find any red, blue, or yellow onions before I commit to that kind of caretaking, you know? I'm not sure what the current going exchange rate is on Picos to, to USD. I wonder how many pick carrots it takes. What is this? Ah, my comment got a heart from Sebediah. Yeah, content creator Sebediah, he just started about 3 weeks ago, he started his Cobblemon Forever World. I don't know if you're familiar, Cobblemon is just a Pokemon ROM, or a Pokemon add-on to Minecraft that people created. It is so much better than Pixelmon, really good. But he did his Forever World in Minecraft for Cobblemon. And his second video just came out today. Really good. I highly recommend it if you want some good stuff. Master Pikmin 2, but not 1. Is Pikmin 1, like, different set-wise? Like, are there harder things in the set? Because I feel like Pikmin 2 would have a much more diverse set given how much bigger the game is, right? Unless there's specific achievements that are tied behind certain functions in the game that make it harder. Oh, big stretch, sir. My cat just stretched. Okay. It is 3:06 and my food is almost here. Tell you what, I'm gonna play until my food arrives. And then I'll be cutting it early. Can't get out of Garden of Hope on day 2. I never make it in time. Yeah, that tracks. That makes sense, actually. I get it. I get it. But yeah, I'll be cutting the stream a little short because my food's going to be here faster than I expected. Because Dursadoff, she moves. You know, she gets here quick. Come on now. Give me that good. Come on. I am not even going to bother going back to the Pokemon Center either. I'm just going to use up all my moves until I struggle. If it gets to that point, because I can just heal. I have so many goddamn healing items, it doesn't matter. Oh. Well, excuse me, I didn't realize I had no more pee-pee. Oh. I need, like, a realignment in my back or something. I have to go to a chiropractor. Other than that, I just sleep different. Change how I'm laying down at night. I was sleeping on my left side. Maybe that was it. Maybe I have to sleep on my right side and around my back. Could also be how we had the pillows set up last night, because we moved the bed. Starts the VGM result reveal. Interesting. I am curious about that, then. I'll have to look into when that happens. What picks did you do? I believe in you, Kipper. You can do this. Just get to level 33. You're almost there, buddy. Precisely in 4 hours. Okay, so that'll be 7 o'clock my time. What's it? The website goes by GMT, right? Greenwich Mean Time? Because I know most of the site devs are in the UK. Okay. Ba-ba-da-ba. Oh. Damn. She's quick. Alright, we're almost at the level up. Let's see if I can get there before... She's moving. We're almost there. Okay, we are going to get it. Okay, so I just wanted to give a big thank you to everyone that popped out today. Thank you guys so much for coming to hang out and enjoying the Professor Oak Challenge in Pokemon Emerald. Friday, we'll be back with more LEGO Star Wars, the original trilogy for the DS. Saturday, we will be here for our bonus stream, and then Tuesday, we'll be back for more of this wonderful game. I'll be probably looking into working on updating my ROM for Mariomon, so hopefully we'll be back to scheduled programming as usual next week. Until then, thank you guys for popping out. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see everyone Friday. Peace! Uh-oh, where's my thing?